Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing a debt confession. This is a long waited overdue video and I'm so excited to get started. Remember that everyone's debt journey is different and everyone's amount is going to be different. There are some amounts on here that I am not proud of, but I have finally faced my debt journey or taken it more serious within the last 2 years, and it's something that I wish was just out of the way because life would be so much easier, but you know, sometimes that's not how life works. I am trying to pay off all my debt within the next 10 years. If that's something that you guys are interested in, keep watching. So this is in no particular order. This is just how I wrote it out. It's not increasing by interest. It's not increasing by minimum payment. It's just whatever I remembered I had keyed it in. This here is my dining table, and I had pulled out a credit card on it because the interest was 0 if I paid it within the first year, and that amount was $1,861.69. Hopefully you guys can see that. I will zoom in a little bit closer. The next debt I have was for my sofas, and I have talked about these two amounts in the past. So for my sofa, the total was $4,890.14. Next debt. Here is a medical expense. I am still fighting with the insurance company to have them pay even just a portion of the amount. So right now I have not heard back from them yet. I don't know what the interest is. I don't know what the minimum payment is. I'm gonna leave the amount on here, but I'm hoping that they help cover some of the expenses. $5,429. This next one here, I charge it on my Chase credit card, which the percentage is super high, 22.99. But then this was for a medical reason, and I didn't, oh, there you go. I didn't have insurance at the time, and so this is something that I'm still struggling to pay, or should I say I'm still actively paying. And this amount here is $8,810.48. My next expense is my credit card, and this is debt that I have been fighting or trying to pay off within the last 2 years. So my credit card is $5,049.74. And because it's a credit union, the interest is lower, but because there is interest, I've always found that I wouldn't pay the minimum, but I would pay like a little bit more. But because there's interest, I always feel like I wasn't paying the principal, I was just paying the interest. Here is another Chase. I did separate the Chase Medical with the Chase, although it's still the same card, just because I want to not mix the two together. So this one here is just spending not responsibly. This one is $4,000. All right, so all of my remaining debt is going to be my student loans. And student loans has been pushed back until August, and I haven't made any recent payments because I want to have enough cushion in case something happens to me or my husband where it can cover our expenses. And so for me to feel more comfortable with paying my student loans, I want to be at a safe spot. And again, budgeting is different for everyone. If you want to pay your student loans first, go ahead and do that. I was watching a YouTuber, and she's also a budgeter, and she was tackling all these debt, and then she lost her job, and she's been unemployed for the last 5 months. An advice that she gave was she wished she would have focused on more on saving rather than paying off debt, because now, although all her debt's paid off, she's gaining new debt because her cost of living and her cost of expenses are still present. That hit me really hard because I'm like, yeah, it's important to pay off debt, but then it's also important to have fully funded sinking funds, fully funded accounts, savings where you're not living paycheck to paycheck, if you can do that. All right, enough of me rambling. My first student loan is Heartland, and this was $4,500 with 5% interest. This next one is Great Lakes, and this one is $4,824.32. My next student loan is also through Great Lakes. And this amount stresses me out every time I look at it. Everyone, embrace yourself, put on your seatbelt. This amount here is $201,759. This number drives me crazy every time I look at it. This is literally a house or two houses. So the last one is also Great Lakes, and this amount here is $90,299.47. Okay. All right, everyone, just take it all in, breathe. I know this is crazy when I look at it. These student loans are a collection of my undergrad and my graduate school. So for undergrad, I went to a community college thinking that I was going to save money. I ended up being at the community college longer than 2 years, longer than I would have liked. I then transferred to a university, and although I believe in education, I also came out with a bunch of debt. Most of these higher figure loans are from graduate school, and I'll go over the minimum payments on some of them, or the ones that I can remember. $65.15 for my table of $65.15. For my sofa, it was $172. For my credit union, I'm not sure what the minimum payment was. I know it varies. And then for Heartland, it was $47.71. That's what I know on the top of my head right now. I did pay, like every time I stuffed, like you guys saw in my previous cash stuffing envelopes, I always stuffed higher than the minimum amount. So like for my sofas, I always stuffed $445. For my table, I stuffed $200. And then for my credit card, I always stuffed $400. I'm just gonna leave those blank since I don't know what the amount is. This here is my grand total. I know. Trust me, I know. Hear that deep sigh? That's how I feel about it. But I'm facing it, I'm tackling it, and I'm ready to pay off this debt. I'm coming for you. So I'm going to highlight what I have paid off and what I have remaining. I have paid off my dining table, my sofa. You guys saw that I recently scratched off my last credit card. My Chase credit card is paid off. And my Heartland education student loan is paid off. So, quote unquote, I technically only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 debt, but they are big debts. I'll circle this here. Like I said earlier, I've been paying this off slowly. The new amount is $5,310.48. So I will highlight this amount. My current total is $320,643.65. Scratch that. So this amount is wrong. I just calculated it because I'm like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. My total current amount is $307,622,337. So $370,622.37 is my current amount of debt that I owe. Now I'm going to minus this by my previous debt to see how much debt I have paid off. So if you can see my phone here, I'm gonna minus 331,423.94 cents. Or the difference between the two is $23,801.57. This amount here, although it looks like it's only made a little impact, I am very proud of this $23,000 I have paid within the last 2 years. So imagine where it can just go from here, where I'm fully invested in just paying off debt. So how am I going to tackle this debt? Right now, I was going to do the snowball method, and I think I'm still going to do the snowball method, but at this very moment, like I said earlier, I want to fully fund my 3 to 6 months ahead folder and some of my sinking funds folder before I start tackling debt. The student loans are pushed back to August, so that gives me a little wiggle room to save or pay if I wish. My main concern right now is to have the insurance company pay off this $5,429. So the only amount I technically have left that is not a student loan would be the $5,310.48. That will allow me to tackle my student loans sooner than later. Why is education so freaking expensive? Where do we draw the line where, okay, you want to pursue higher education, but you got to pay the price? I know this is a crazy large amount. That concludes this video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And we are going to tackle this debt journey together.